Hey everyone, this is Mary Ann Pizzotola, president of the New York City Organization of Public Service Retirees, the organization that brought the lawsuit against the city of New York to stop them from forcing us into a Medicare Advantage plan. I'm sure many of you have watched our other videos. You're aware that Medicare pays for your traditional Medicare pays for your first 80% of your bills, and the supplemental plan that we have through the city of New York pays for the last 20%. It's a small plan. It's called a wrap plan or a Medigap or a supplemental. And it's not a great expense, but for whatever it is, the city is looking to not pay that and put the burden on the federal government. The federal government pays for Medicare Advantage plans, a high price at that, and to these for-profit insurance companies that become your managed care. Those are the plans that we do not want. And I believe that they should be available to those that may want them or like them, but for those that don't want them or don't need them or can't use them, and you're going to find out in a series of videos that we are going to be doing why sometimes this plan, a Medicare Advantage plan, even though it's a PPO, is still a problem for some retirees, and that they should not be forced into that. We've been saying that the city, including Claire Levitt, Deputy Commissioner of Office of Labor Relations under the mayor's office, has been discussing about using the nuclear option, which we've called it, which is what she will kill every single health plan available to a retiree in the city of New York in order to be able to force them into a Medicare Advantage plan. She's been questioned about this, and we know she's been talking about it. She will refuse to acknowledge or deny, which to us obviously tells us that they're looking to get around the judge's orders. This is not the first time they've done this to you. You don't believe me. Well, this is not the first time labor relations has tried to force people, and actually successfully did force people by killing all other plans, and they did it with HIP-HIP. And HIP has a history of, with the city of New York since its inception, of providing health insurance for the city of New York employees, retirees, and their dependents. However, in that situation, HIP was told to kill their one plan because the unions in the city could not force the people into it, and they wanted to move you where they wanted you so it was a less cost to them. Didn't really care about you as a person. And anyone knows anything about HIP people who love HIP, HIP, they are loyal to the day is long. They've been with HIP forever. HIP has been around since 1939, 1937. The city's offered plans since 1947. I mean, it's been around forever. So to take something like that away from someone, we have memos. We know that they did this. It's a dirty little secret, but it looks like history repeats itself in labor relations. And while something like this was done under the Giuliani administration, it is now being done under Mayor Adams' purview and was attempted under Mayor de Blasio. Very unusual, but there you go. So what is the plan? What is the issue? The issue is this Medicare Advantage Plus plan is a Medicare Advantage plan, and it takes away all the things traditional about Medicare. They keep saying it's a better plan. They keep saying it has perks. I want to get into some of that with you in a series of little short videos. But first, I want to introduce you to Claire Levitt, and I want you to hear her words. And then I want to be able to start taking them apart little by little so that you could see that this plan might be good for some people, but it's not good for everyone. And the only thing that she has to brag about it is the perks. And she still insists that the plan is the same as the senior care plan, but it's not. So let's see if I could share my screen with you. And we will play the very first video. Here we go.
Thank you very much, Kim. I really just want to start by saying that despite all of the noise and concerns that have been expressed about the program, that at OLR, we really believe that this is a great program. It remains a free program, which I think is very important for our retirees. And we think we've built in some great additional benefits to the program. I know that there's been a lot of confusion about it, and I'm very sympathetic to how difficult it is to go through these changes. But I really want people to pay attention to the great benefits and express all their concerns and ask all their questions so we really can move forward with this. in designing this, this is not just the program for you, but this is the retirement program for me and for Sang and for the commissioner. And we wouldn't have done this if we didn't think that this was a great program. So I'm going to turn it back over to Kim, and hopefully she can answer all your questions. Thank you very much. I really just want to start by saying
I definitely don't want to hear you twice. So here's some issues with that, right? She's calling the issues that people are raising noise. She's tone deaf. She doesn't want to hear the noise because she's only worried about getting her plan that she's worked on for the last year, 2 years in effect. She doesn't care about what people are saying. Oh, if she would have listened to us, they would have taken our request for meetings, taken our phone calls, nothing. So trying to get through to the commissioner, deputy commissioner, that there are issues that she needs to be aware of has proven fruitless. Yet she still wants to dub what we're saying as noise and just get past this so we could just put this plan into effect. And it's got great perks and benefits and it's going to be my plan, right? So the interesting thing is Ms. Levitt has a very long history of working for insurance companies. She's not working for the city of New York more than 7-8 years. She'd have to work for the city of New York for 10 years in order for this plan to actually be her plan. And given that she's probably got close to 30-something, 40-something years of working in insurance companies, my bet is she probably has insurance elsewhere and she could give a hoot about the New York City retirees health insurance plan. I'm not convinced it will be her plan. She has spent way too much long in other industry to even be affected by this. Might be wrong. I mean, I've been wrong before. I make mistakes. I'm only human, but I can admit that. Can Ms. Levitt admit that? I don't really know. But here's the next video. And this one is pretty interesting. So I want to share this one with you. Oops, not that one. This one. Let's do sound and play. Now, these two clips came from the Professional Staff Congress's video that aired February 24th. I do not know who this lady is. I hope she doesn't mind me sharing her video. I love this woman. I think she was able to articulate that she did not like this plan. It didn't benefit her. The perks that are announced didn't benefit her either. And she called Ms. Levitt out on the carpet to say, what do you like about it? This isn't going to affect me. This doesn't benefit me. I looked through the booklet. I didn't really care. So here we go.
Meeting, Claire Levitt, I believe her name was, mentioned about how she felt that this is such a great program. I'm kind of curious as to what is it that, she felt was so great, because I've read it over multiple times and there's a lot of features in this new plan that for me personally, it doesn't really feel it's warranted. Certainly the co-pays are not warranted as far as I'm concerned. And a lot of these other extra features, silver sneakers, the food plan. I mean, there are other, I believe a lot of people might just do walking on a regular basis. And that little device, for tracking. So I'm curious what Claire felt was so good about this plan from OLR.
Okay, I'd be happy to share that with you.
Thank you.
I do think, first of all, the program continues to be a free program. It matches all of the benefits that are in the senior care program and improves on them. So you're right that the senior care program did add the $15 co-pays, but they are for primary care waived in the new program. And I think a lot of the new benefits that are in the new program are very valuable, particularly the transportation benefits. I think the transportation, to and from a doctor, that's a great benefit to have, especially for New York City residents. It's great if instead of getting on the subway, you can get a car service to go to the doctor. I think the meals program is great.
Okay, So it's your opinion then these things are
I
good,
think
especially if you're
it's
in
my opinion that you have all these
Right.
new benefits, plus you have all the benefits that were in senior care, and you have that for free. So I do
not free if you have to go to many specialized doctors or things of that nature.
premium free.
You know, and then remember when we were all hired X amount of years ago, the whole point is you're not going to get rich, but you're going to have benefits for life. So that's
you know,
disturbs me.
and you still do
personally.
have benefits for life. This is, you
They're
know, as
changing
New York
it.
City
They're changing
employees, we have extraordinary benefits. Benefits, the program of free benefits is so unusual in this country today. It really is a remarkable benefit that we have.
Well, then change it for the new people.
You know what?
not for
Excuse
us
me.
older.
So I wanted to share with you some of this. Kudos to that professor who called out Claire on these issues. First of all, our senior care was free until they manipulated the rates. They signed a contract with the Alliance that in order for their plan to be successful, any plan that was left on the table had to have a premium. So they killed all the other plans, left senior care on the table, charging people almost $200 a month to keep it, and then made this plan $7.50 for the first year and $0 for the second year. So on that one, oh, wait a second. I think I have my buzzer. Okay, Madeline's not here, so I have to be the buzzer person too. Okay, then she said the meals. The meals are a problem, right? Because what are the meals? If you have a qualifying event, like you get discharged from a hospital or put into a nursing facility, they will give you like 12 or 14 meals. That's it. Healthy pantry. They will give, and these all have pre-authorization, meaning you have to be approved for it. You just can't say, oh, I got out of the hospital and what's a qualifying event? Go through the EOC, it's not even listed. Transportation. I'm glad Ms. Levitt lives in New York City. I do not. I happen to live in a rural area. Transportation is within a 30-mile radius. There are 12 round trips alone. You have to plan them 2 days in advance. And if you go on their booklet, it says that they're with a company called Access to Care. If you look up the reviews on the internet for Access to Care, we've even called them. They can't even tell you how they background check these people. The complaints on the website are horrific. They don't show up. They show up late. They leave you stranded at the doctor's office for an hour or 2 or 3 waiting for you to come home. What benefit is that to me? Now, if you live in Long Island, let's go to New Yorkers. You live in Long Island and you want to go into Manhattan, it's more than 30 miles. It's not a benefit. It's a benefit to some. And to give you 12 round trips, that's 1 visit a month, maybe. And if you are really sick, you're probably going more often. Then typically you are probably going to have a loved one or a home aide helping you. You don't need the 12 visits a month. The Fitbit tracker, who really gives a hoot? That lady was dead spot on. You have to understand something. Medicare eligible retirees run the gamut. You're either on disability and you're young, 30s, 40s, 50s, early 60s, or you're older and infirm, or just healthy and over 65. You have a whole lot of people that are on Medicare. Medicare was meant for people who are either disabled or over 65 years old. The city requires you to be in this plan in order to maintain your health insurance. You have to be in Medicare. And now they're going to govern how you use it. It doesn't make any sense. When this plan was founded, it was so that the city, the government, everyone went, the city council, the mayor, they all went to the council to legislate, giving a retired person who was already retired the ability to opt into Medicare and pay for their secondary, their Medigap. They literally carved out the GHI and the HIP plan to be able to give them that secondary and only cover 20% and save the city money. And then the city said, well, we were paying for the retirees' health care like we promised. We should continue to do that. And let's work on then now rebuilding in paying for Medicare B reimbursement. There's a history here. The unions should respect that history. The city should respect that history. Ms. Levitt wants you to talk about these perks that make this plan better. they're not really a perk for everybody. Not everyone's going to want a Fitbit tracker, just like that lady said. Not everyone can use those meals for qualifying events, and most of those things require, those perks, those benefits require prior authorizations. If it doesn't benefit you, why is it a benefit? It's not. It's like selling ice to an Eskimo. He doesn't need it. I don't need it. Most of you don't need it. And see, this is the problem when you're not on Medicare, you don't know. Has anyone ever talked to Ms. Levitt about the retirees that live in a facility that sign a contract? The contracts require them to keep their Medicare and Supplemental, and that they are not supposed to have a Medicare Advantage Plan. Did she know this? Probably not. Health expert, what do you know? Come on. These are things that are really important when it comes down to collective bargaining. But see, I'm retired. I don't need to be bargaining with you, which is why you shouldn't be touching my benefits. And this is what retirees keep telling her, but she doesn't want to listen. She thinks it's noise. So now I have a retiree that's in Florida who says, if I have to take this plan, I have to opt out of the plan. Otherwise, I have to move. And I can. This is like my end of life plan. I'll be here forever. This is a beautiful place. The contract requires that I maintain my Medicare traditional and my supplemental and not be in a Medicare Advantage plan. She doesn't understand this because Ms. Levitt doesn't understand this because she's not familiar with senior needs. But we could tell her a few things or two if she would give us the time of day. These are some of the problems with this Medicare Advantage plan. Seniors are frustrated. No one's listening, which is why our organization has become so popular. It's because we are trying to answer the questions that labor relations can't. Try calling labor relations. They don't answer their phone. It takes forever to answer an email. Ask 2 questions in an email, you'll be lucky to get 1 a week later. They can't handle the day-to-day, never mind what's happening with this program. No one wants this Medicare Advantage program that we've talked to. And the only ones that are going to have to take it is because they can't afford to opt out of it if they're going to be compelled to pay a premium to keep their plan that they've had for free for 20, 30, 40, or 50 years. So that's today's short. I was hoping it would be shorter, but I talked too much. There's a lot to say in this, and I'm very passionate about it. It's to try to give voice to people who keep talking to us and telling us that they're not happy about this plan. And they wish the city would listen. They wish the mayor would listen. They wish the city council would listen. If you go into the description of the video, we put a couple of bullet points about some of the problems with this plan that no one's listening about. We hope that you will read it, you will share it with them. So with today, I want to thank the Professional Staff Conference for publishing that video. It was a wonderful video. The Q&As really do need to go longer. I'm sorry, I know they did go longer, towards the end for a little bit longer. Kim Parker did stay a little bit, but don't ever turn away a question. People need their questions answered, and that was filmed February 24th. This plan was supposed to go into effect about a month later. You can't leave people hanging. There's another video coming from that video that was taken from PSC that we want to share with you because it's another issue that no one's talking about. It has to do with prescriptions. So stay tuned because that will be the next one. Have a great day, everyone. And thanks for following us. Please subscribe so you do get our videos and you can understand what we're going through and help us fight this battle. Have a great day.